A lot of men don't want to talk about this, but the older they get, they get sick of having sex with all these women, but they can't help it because they're so broken. They're not even connected with themselves. They're not connected with any of these women. There's no connection. There's no chemistry. There's nothing. Nothing. Having sex to men anyway is like taking a piss.
Start asking men what is their body count. Even if you're not direct about it, stop being with men or laying with men who have a high body count. They are damaged. Emotionally, they have lost ability to connect emotionally. They have lost ability to commit to anything serious for a long time, right? So they are usually in a haste to tap out of a relationship. They've not built anything. They don't, in fact, they lack sexual discipline. They've not built a true sense of self. They've not built anything outside of their sexuality or their sexual pleasure or their sex pleasure. They've not built anything outside of that. So aside from that, these people carry diseases. Some diseases do not show up on male bodies, right? Because let's take cervical cancer, for instance. HPV can be in a man's body for a very long time and it may or may not affect him. For you, a man does not have cervix, so it's not possible for him to have cervical cancer. But he can carry that HPV and transfer it to you, and you will have cervical cancer, right? Forget about HIV. Do you guys even know that a lot of men, like I think at a point there was a research I read that they said 48% of men have a 48% chance of escaping HIV so they can even sleep with a woman who has HIV and not contact the disease. But you on the first go, you don't catch them. You don't catch them. So just before you guys think men cheating is normal, and stop being with these men who have been like everybody, they sleep with almost anything at all. There's no reason why a human being there's no reason why a man who you want to be with should have, because if he does not have sex discipline, why are you trying to be with him?
Truth is, a lot of women and a lot of men are unable to get married today because they have an unhealthy soul tie with someone from their past. They are carrying emotional baggage. They have a high body count. This is the reason why they cannot move on. They cannot get married. They cannot keep a happy relationship. They see sex to be so casual. They don't see it as a spiritual act. They have objectified the people that they sleep with. This has made them to find it so hard to take anyone seriously. It's just the truth. This whole topic of high body count, it shouldn't be a gender related issue. It shouldn't be about women with high body counts or men with high body counts. It should be about people with high body counts. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Drop your thoughts on the comment section, and I'm definitely going to see you guys at the end.
Men use virtue as a tool to demonstrate their superiority over women. If virtue did not exist and was not a scoring matrix for women, men would not be able to claim to be the superior sex. So what men via the patriarchy have done is create this metric to judge women against that does not apply to them. And what I mean by that is if you ask a man why a woman shouldn't have a lot of bodies, he will say, because it's dirty, it's this, she doesn't respect herself. He will go through a laundry list as to why a woman must keep herself pure. But then when you flip that around onto themselves as men, their response is so genius. They just say, but I'm a man. Help. Then they will go on to try to scientifically and they love using religion here. They love using religion, even though these religious books written by men, to reassert their dominance as men and why they don't have to follow the rules. And they do this because they can use virtue to make you less than. You're not good enough because you have bodies. No man, I always read, men don't want a used car. Baby, you are the used car. Like, it is so ridiculously hypocritical, the things that come out of men's mouth when it comes down to sex and virtue. However, I'm not here to argue that point because I'm just a girl that talks on TikTok. Like, I don't have the power to overturn the patriarchy. But I just want to conclude with 2 points. Men, just lower the bass in your tone because it's so easy to pass a test you never have to take. If you're never judged against virtue, then it's easy to talk from a superior place. If we started judging men based on virtue today, baby, zeros across the board. But also, as women, I'm not encouraging you to have a high body count where you can avoid it, because these are the things that men use against you. And the reality is, as much as I don't like the rules, these are the rules of society and we do not have the power to change them. Maybe that will change one day. But right now, if you're not trying to be an activist and you just, want a nice, healthy relationship, these are things to be aware of. Guys, I don't know who is ringing my doorbell like they ain't got no sense, but anyway, finally, just if you are a woman out there and you have bodies and you're feeling less than or not as valuable as other women, cast that to the side. Like, you are just as worthy as anyone else. At the end of the day, life has happened and everybody has made mistakes. It's just that everyone's mistakes aren't sexual. So don't let anyone talk down to you or look down on you. But that includes you. Do not let men use you as a sexual object, nor should you view yourself as someone who is going to let men access you for cheap. Like, you are very expensive, and I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about in terms of your value, and let people who access you have earned it and put in time to earning it. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you.
They've been trained to ask that question to make you feel as if your value is somehow lowered the more men that you have slept with. And I addressed this in my last video. If you had slept with 10 Dusties, maybe your value would seem low to another Dusty. But if you had slept with 10 millionaires, maybe your value would seem even higher to that Dusty. So it's not how many you sleep with, it's who you sleep with that increases your value or decreases your value. It's who you sleep with, not how many. Okay? So think about it. Think about this. You slept with 10 Dusties versus 10 millionaires. Which one sounds better? Which one's going to make that man want you more? Now, you slept with the same amount of men, 10 Dusty or 10 millionaires. If you say you slept with 10 millionaires, he going to want you more. If you say you slept with 10 Dusties, he ain't going to want you, because why would he want a woman that's sleeping with the same type of man that he is, that you can't do any better than him? You're not a challenge if any old Dusty can get you, okay? But if you say you done slept with 10 millionaires, oh, now you a challenge. Now he got to spend money. Now he got to take you on trips and vacation because you're used to a certain lifestyle and you are only giving it up to certain types of people. That means either he has no hope or he got to pay for hope. Okay, that's it. So it's not about your body count. It's about who you slept with. So if you decide to give your body count, make sure you also give their status with the body count of the men you slept with. Oh, I've slept with about 10 men, but they were all millionaires. I don't sleep with broke men. Okay, say it like that if you're gonna give that information out.
Let me tell you the real reason body count is an issue with some men. It's not what they're telling you. And before I get into it, let me just say that I do not like hookups and I was celibate for 10 years. So this is not a video made to justify my own personal body count. Modern masculinity is built on two concepts. One is getting a lot of women makes you more of a man. The more women you get, the more masculine you are. Two, it's that women can't be better than you at anything. If a woman beats you, you're not a man. You see where I'm going with this? Men spend their whole lives working hard at the gym, at money, getting nice cars, dressing, whatever, just to get women. Just to get the approval of women. Then a woman comes along, and if she wanted to, she could sleep with 10 times more people than they could, and she wouldn't even have to try. And their brain breaks, because women can't be better than them at things. So all they can do is change the rules of the game. It's not really a game for women because it's easy and we'd win every time. Change the rules of the game for women. So when women come along and do the thing that they spend every waking minute trying to do effortlessly and easily to the point where we don't really even give a shit. It's so easy for us that a lot of the time we don't even want to deal with it. Nah. It's boring. A woman, go on a dating app. You have tons of matches, tons of men trying to sleep with you. It's not even a game. It's boring for us. So they cannot reconcile this key thing that it takes to be a man, and then women being way better than them at that thing. All they have left is to try to change the rules of the game, to create a double standard, to artificially make rules that hold women down. They have to use judgment and shame and public persecution and all of the things that they've done all this time just so they can feel like a man.
Higher body counts are more likely to cheat. Men with higher body counts are more likely to get divorced. Men with higher body counts are less likely to be satisfied in their marriages. Though that's the suite of results that we're seeing in these studies. It's also showing those things for women, but conveniently, these kind of red pill freaks are like, oh, you know, it's women, women, women.
Let me be honest with you guys. There's nothing in this world that scares me like sex. Sex is one of the highest things that scares me to death. Like, it freaks me out. And the reason why it freaks me out is because of sexually transmitted demons. Nobody talks about the biblical part of sleeping with numerous people and the fact that you can put yourself at risk of carrying sexually transmitted demons from whoever you're having sex with. There are a lot of people who have unhealed traumas. They have past traumas. They have baggage. They have demons that they are battling with, demons that they are fighting with. There are some people who are demon possessed, and guess what? They carry these demons within them. And when you have sex with this person, what happens? They transfer those demons to you. So whatever battles they are facing spiritually, physically, mentally, psychologically, guess what? They transfer those demons to you. They transfer those battles to you. Before you know it, you're carrying the negative energy that your partner or whoever you had sex with is carrying, and before you know it, you start acting like them. You develop their mannerisms, you develop their habits, you start behaving like them. That's why you see a lot of women, you have sex with a guy, and before you know it, you start becoming aggressive, you start becoming angry, you start feeling insecure, whereas you're a very confident woman, or you're a very happy person, and before you know it, you had sex with this guy and he leaves you feeling drained. He takes your energy, and by the time he's stepping out, you're feeling bitter, you're feeling drained, you're feeling empty. It is because whatever energy he was carrying, he came and he dumped it on you and took the positive energy that you had, and he's walking out of the door, leaving you with the energy he came in with. This is very important. This is very spiritual. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's something a lot of people minimize. And do you know one scary thing about having sex with a guy who has a high body count? Is the fact that energy can be transferred. So whatever energy he took from all the women he has slept with in the past, he's going to transfer that energy to you. And before you know it, you start behaving like these women. So if you're in a relationship with a guy, or you're married to a guy and he's out there sleeping with hookup girls, sleeping with prostitutes, sleeping with hoes, guess what? All of this energy that he's receiving from these women, he is going to transfer it to you. This is the scary part. We are always concerned about sexually transmitted infections and diseases, but guess what? There are sexually transmitted demons, and it's very difficult to break up from a soul tie. That is the most difficult thing to separate yourself from separating yourself from someone's soul. It is very, very difficult. And if you understand the dangers of having an unhealthy soul tie, you're not going to be out there giving yourself to anybody. You won't be out there having sex or sleeping with any guy just because you feel like it or because you're horny. A lot of these men who have a high body count, they are actually emotionally damaged. They feel empty inside, and guess what? They need women to feel that energy that they have lost, because they have lost parts of themselves. They have given all of themselves to women, to strange women, to women they don't know, and because they have lost themselves, they don't have any energy within them. All they have is other people's energies they are carrying, other women's energies, numerous energies they are carrying. Some of them are even having body counts with other men, if you know what I mean. But because they are not whole and because they are not full, they need women to fuel back that energy they have lost. That is why they are out there in the streets sleeping with numerous women, because they need women for more energy. If you check the last 2 videos I uploaded, it's concerning how men drain your feminine energy. And most of these men who have a high body count, they They rely on feminine energy. They drain you from your energy. A guy who has a high body count, he doesn't have the patience to get to know a woman. A guy with a high body count objectifies women. He doesn't see you as a human being. He doesn't have the patience to even know you, to get to see the value that you bring to the table, because all he is concerned about is sex. All he is concerned about is getting in between your legs. And guess what? A guy with a high body count, he's so quick to getting in between your legs. He just wants to have sex with you from the first day of seeing you, from the first day of meeting you. The first thing that comes to his mind is sex, because that is all that matters to him. This is what I want you guys to understand. It's so easy to know a guy who has a high body count. It's so easy, because men with high body count, they are cheap, they are easy. Extremely cheap, extremely easy. They have no self-control, they have no self-respect. They don't even respect themselves, so they don't even respect women. And the truth is, a guy with a high body count, he has the inability to love. He cannot love. And he cannot love because he doesn't even love himself. A man who loves himself won't be out there giving himself to every woman. He will not be out there sleeping with any woman who throws herself at him. A guy who loves himself will actually carry himself with so much importance, so much self-respect. He's going to put himself on a pedestal because he believes that not every woman deserves him. But a guy with a high body count, he's just all about whoever is willing to throw away some ass, whoever is willing to throw themselves at him, he's willing to smash. They are cheap, they are insecure, they need women's energy. And because they are so easy, they use women for ego validation, to brag amongst their homeboys, to prove to their homeboys that they are more masculine. They believe that the more women they can bag, the more women they can sleep with, makes them more of a man. So they are not actually going after women because they love women. They are going after women because they are insecure. They want to fill this void of emptiness that they feel within themselves, and to prove to their homeboys and to their other male counterparts how much of a man they are, how masculine they are. I am so much of a man if I can sleep with 50 women, if I can sleep with 100, 1,000. And they believe that if they can get so many women, that makes them more of a man, that makes them have more value. But guess what? The more women they sleep with, they feel empty, they feel broken, they feel like they've lost part of themselves to these women, and that's why they are not whole. And someone who is not whole, that person cannot give you everything that you deserve. A man who is not whole, a man who is not full, a man who is not basking in his divine masculinity, he cannot love a woman, he cannot treat a woman right, he cannot make a woman happy, because guess what? He doesn't even love himself. He's not even whole to love himself. He doesn't even know himself. He's lost himself because he has given himself into the streets. He has given himself to numerous women. Numerous men have parts of him, and because numerous women have parts of him, he's out there in the street still sleeping with other women to fill in those parts of himself that he has lost, making him even more empty. And when a man like this meets you, guess what? He is going to take from you. He's going to take, and leave you feeling drained and empty just as he feels. He's going to leave you feeling drained and empty just as he feels. Period. This video doesn't go only for men, even for women. That's why I always preach for celibacy. I always tell all the girlies watching this video to stay celibate, to keep yourself for yourself, and for a man who actually deserves you. Because the truth is, when you're out there giving yourself to numerous people, you end up feeling drained, you end up feeling used, you end up feeling empty, you find it hard to open up emotionally, and the truth is, you carry sexually transmitted demons and unhealthy soul ties. And this is even the most difficult part about all of this, because minus carrying sexually transmitted infections and diseases, the sexually transmitted demons part is even the most difficult to get rid of. It is difficult to free yourself from a soul tie. If you think letting go of a toxic relationship is hard, trust me, try breaking free from a soul tie or from an unhealthy soul tie. You're going to understand how difficult that is. Your soul is linked and connected to someone who isn't meant for you. Your soul is connected to someone who is unhealthy, someone who doesn't mean you well, someone you're not destined to be with. You made an oath, you made a covenant, you made a pledge with this person during sex, and most of the times you don't even know it. Your soul is linked and connected to someone who isn't meant for you, who you're not married to, because you had sex with this person, you had a covenant with this person, you had an oath, a pledge with this person. Sex is spiritual, and a lot of people need to start seeing it for what it truly is. God was not a fool to make it just between a man and a woman, and he made it in such a way that it should just be between two married couples. But in today's day and age, a lot of us women, a lot of us men, we have slept with people who we are not married to. We have slept with people who we're not supposed to sleep with. And guess what? It has created unhealthy bonds, unhealthy soul ties with these people, and it has created a messed up society with messed up people just doing things left and right. In fact, it's a messed up situation. But whatever the case, we should start seeing sex for what it truly is, and not seeing it as just a casual act. Sex is spiritual. It's more spiritual than you can imagine. It's more spiritual than you can think of. And this is what scares me about sex. So besties, I hope you learned so much from this video. I hope this video helped you, and make sure you drop your thoughts on the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'm definitely going to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Love you.